of music is different. There are differences in how they sound, how people play them, what instruments they use, and even where they come from. Did you know that there are hundreds of different genres of music in the world? Let's learn about a few now. Classical music. First, let's talk about classical music. It started around the 16th century in Europe. In those days, there wasn't television and there weren't any cell phones, so classical music was people's entertainment. People enjoyed classical music in theaters as well as in the homes of rich people. Musicians played classical music with typical instruments of those days, like, for example, wind, string, and percussion instruments. You can play classical music with just a few instruments or in big groups of musicians called orchestras. Look, this is one here. Classical music usually relaxes us and makes us feel different emotions like happiness, sadness, or even surprise. And you? How do you feel when you listen to classical music? Jazz. Another genre of music is jazz. It is originally from the south of the United States. People started to play it in the beginning of the 20th century. It is a unique type of music that uses different string, wind, and percussion instruments. Have you ever listened to jazz music? It sounds a little different than other genres, like classical or opera music, right? Let's give it a listen. Why does it sound different? For many reasons. One interesting reason is improvisation. This means that musicians make up some of the music while they play it. Interesting, right? It's definitely not easy. Rock and roll. Rock and roll music began in the 50s in the United States. This is a genre of music that people play with electronically amplified instruments. The most common are the electric guitar, the electric bass, the keyboard, and the drums. It's hard to listen to rock and roll and not want to move your feet, don't you think? Pop. Lastly, we're going to talk about pop. Did you know that pop is short for popular? This genre also started in the United States in the 50s, and people still listen to it a lot today. It normally has a simple structure with a rhythm that is easy to sing and dance to. Come on, let's dance!
Switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road.
Rap.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then I go off.
We'll start with rap. Rap started in the 1970s in big cities in the United States. We call rap singers rappers. They have a very unique way of making music. Rappers sing very fast, and they use a similar pitch throughout the whole song, so sometimes it sounds like they are talking. But if you pay close attention, the lyrics rhyme just like a poem. Rappers experiment a lot with the sound of words to generate different kinds of effects. Have you ever noticed this? Normally, rap is accompanied by other instruments that produce a repetitive rhythm. Rap music can be very fast. Have you ever heard of hip-hop DJs? DJs normally accompany rappers. They play the music or track that we hear in the background on rap songs. Let's listen to a bit of rap music now. Country music. Finally, let's take a look at country music. It is a type of music that was born in the rural regions of the southern United States in the early 20th century. In country music, we hear a mixture of slow and fast rhythms. Stringed instruments such as the violin, guitar, and bass, along with the piano and percussion instruments, are the most typical in country music. But we can also hear another interesting instrument in country music, the banjo. The banjo is similar to a guitar and has 4, 5, or 6 strings. Its body looks like a drum, and people usually play it very fast.
Techno. Techno comes from the word technology, since people use technology to create this type of music. This genre of music started in the 1980s in both the United States and Germany, and then quickly became popular all over the world. Techno is a repetitive and fast type of music. In techno music, artists use audio editing software, synthesizers, and sequencers to create electronically produced sounds. People also use melodies and songs from other musical genres, which they adapt to sound more technological. I just want to dance when I hear this music. What about you? Heavy metal. Heavy metal is a type of rock music that began in the 1960s and 1970s in the United States and the United Kingdom. Heavy metal bands are usually made up of a bass guitar, drums, and 1 or 2 electric guitars. Some bands also use keyboards or electronic organs. Heavy metal music has strong and powerful rhythms. Volume is another very unique feature of heavy metal. Musicians often play very loud, and sometimes it sounds strange, but they do that on purpose. Let's have a listen.